This is your moment, not to keep waiting, not to keep hoping things get better, but to decide. Because the next 20 years of your life are going to be shaped by what you choose now. Welcome to Life and Love by Design. I'm life and relationship coach Odette Coronel. This podcast is for individuals and couples who are done living on autopilot, who are ready to understand the patterns shaping their relationships, their choices, and their sense of self, and redesign them with purpose and intention. Here, we don't just talk about what's hard. We name what's actually happening beneath it and what to do about it. And if you start recognizing yourself or your relationship in these conversations, know that this is the exact work that I do with my private coaching clients, individuals and couples who are ready for real change. Because a meaningful life and connected relationships don't happen by default. They're designed. So let's begin. Welcome back to Life and Love by Design. I'm your host, Odette Coronel, and this is the podcast where we talk about how to live and love with intention and not by default. Today's episode is for a very specific kind of woman. She's smart, she's successful, she's accomplished, she's built a life that on paper looks really good. And yet there's a quiet voice inside of her that's asking herself, is this it? Why am I not truly happy and fulfilled? And it's not a loud voice. It shows up in quiet moments, like maybe you're sitting next to your partner and you're finding yourself feeling alone, even though he's literally sitting right next to you. Or you're having a conversation, but it's not very deep. It just feels very surface level, or you're just talking about logistics. And you're moving through your day, you're doing all the things that you're supposed to do, but something inside of your body feels off. There's a restlessness, like a quiet or subtle anxiety. It's like a disconnection that you can't really explain. So if that's you, stay with me, because some of the things that I'm going to be saying, might feel a little bit confronting, but it might also feel like someone finally understands you. This is for the woman that looks like she has it all together, but inside she feels disconnected in her relationship. She feels emotionally alone, even when she's literally not alone. She feels unfulfilled in a way that she can't fully explain. And she feels tired. She's tired all the time. She's exhausted, and not just physically. But what makes it really confusing is that nothing is technically wrong. Your husband is not a bad person. Your life isn't falling apart. But something just feels like it's missing. You're just feeling kind of unfulfilled. And then here's the part that nobody prepares us for. Your body is changing. Your hormones are shifting. Your nervous system becomes so sensitive. Your emotional responses feel really strong. And sometimes you might just explode or go off on a family member or a coworker or something. And you look back and you're like, oh my God, did I really just do that? So again, you might notice that you're more reactive than you used to be, or that you're just the opposite and you shut down. Your patience is shorter. Your desire has changed. You want to be intimate, but you just are not feeling it. You've got no interest, or you just feel completely touched out and disconnected from the thought of intimacy. You want connection. That's what you actually want, but you just can't figure out how to access it. And then you're left wondering, what is happening to me? Because you're not the same woman that you were 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And yet you're still trying to show up and trying to operate in your life and in your relationship as if you were. So this is how it shows up. You try to bring something up, but it turns into an argument. So the next time you just decide, what, I'm not going to say anything at all. And when he asks you, what's wrong? You just respond, nothing. I'm fine. And what happens is that over time, resentment starts to build quietly, but it starts to build and it starts to compound. So even though that feels easier than explaining, it's not. Or you're sitting in bed together at night and you're right next to each other, but you're both on your phones. So even though there's no tension and nothing is wrong, there's no connection either. And you just fall into a habit of doing this night after night. And you miss him. Even though he's sitting right next to you, you miss your husband. And you start asking yourself, why does it have to be so hard? Why do I have to keep reacting this way? Or why do I feel so alone in this relationship? And then eventually you just tell yourself, that's just what marriages look like. That's what happens over time in relationships when you've been with someone long enough. So, what's really happening is that you've learned to adapt. You've learned to keep the peace, just avoid conflict. You've learned to just overfunction. You learn to carry more than your share because it's just easier for you to take care of things. And then slowly, you're disconnecting from yourself, from your voice. You're disconnecting from your needs, from your truth. And now you don't even know who you are. You don't remember what your voice sounds like. And this is something that I really want you to sit with. The average woman's life expectancy is 76 years old. So if you're reaching 50, that means that you have roughly 26 summers, 26 Christmases, 26 birthdays, and 26 years of moments just like the ones you're living right now. So here's a real question. How do you want to spend them? Continuing in the same patterns, the same quiet settling? Or do you want something that feels deeper and more connected and you want to feel more like yourself again, more alive? Because most women don't need more awareness. You already read all the books, you listen to the podcasts, you're very wise and knowledgeable. You already know what's happening. What's missing is a different way of moving through it. It's a deeper level of work. This is exactly why I created my Next Level Woman Life and Love by Design experience. Because what this stage of life is asking for is not surface level change. That's not enough. It's about creating a different relationship with yourself. Inside this work, we move through a very intentional process where you start seeing yourself very clearly, your patterns, your dynamics, how you've been showing up in your relationships, and what has been shaping them. And for lots of women, this alone is super powerful, just having that awareness, because for the very first time, things are making sense. And then from there, you start to reconnect with your voice, your needs, your standards, and parts of you that have been quiet for a really long time. And then we build from there. We learn how to communicate differently, how to stay grounded in your body during conflict, and how to create real, deep, emotional, and physical connection and intimacy. And then we shift into designing the life and the love that you actually want. Not the life you've been maintaining, not the life you've been settling for, but the life and the marriage that you truly want in this next chapter of your life. And most importantly, you don't just understand it, you become it. When women do this work, they don't just feel better. They start to really feel calm in their body. They feel clear in their communication and they feel connected emotionally and physically. And they feel confident in themselves without trying to overcompensate. They stop overthinking and walking on eggshells. They really stop abandoning themselves. And then their relationships start to respond. You'll notice that things improve in not just the way that you feel and how you become, and not just your marriage, but really in all of your relationships, in how you parent, in your work, in how you relate to your friends and other people, and how fulfilled you feel in life. So if you've been listening to this and you're thinking, this is me, then this is your moment. Not to keep waiting, not to keep hoping things get better, but to decide. Because the next 20 years of your life are going to be shaped by what you choose now, what you choose today. You don't need more time. You don't need a different approach. You need a deeper level of support, a space where real transformation happens. And that's exactly what this is. So if you're ready to step into your next level woman and create your life and your love by design, then I invite you to book a complimentary Next Level Woman consultation, where we will meet one-on-one. We'll look at where you are, what's keeping you stuck, and what you think it would truly take to shift it. Because everything that you want is on the other side of this work. And the question is, are you ready to stop waiting? Remember, your life and your love are yours to design. If today's episode described you or your relationship, then this is your moment. You don't need more information. You need a new way of living, choosing, and relating. And that's the work I do with individuals and couples. If you're ready to stop repeating the same patterns and start designing your life and relationships intentionally, visit the link in the show notes and book a complimentary relationship and life audit. Remember, your life and your love are yours to design.